Hi, it's Lonely Oz, and just a couple of news pieces that I came across that I was interested in, and I thought you might also be interested in. I have done some posts in the past. Those of you who have been with me for a while now know that I have done many posts and videos on the Nephilim and the fallen angels. I have not done so in a while, but as far as this particular news piece, I'm going to leave it up to your discernment and you can research it further and make of it what you will. I'm just going to share with you what the article says. It's titled Mystery of Jordan's Big Circles, Ancient Stone Rings in the Desert Have Left Archaeologists Baffled. Now, they highlight in the article a few things here. It says 8 big circles have been recorded in west central Jordan between Wadi El Hassa and the edge of Shera Escarpment. Okay, I'm going to show you where that is. And again, this is just an interesting side note. Okay, um, that would be in this area right here. Now, a little bit south of Damascus is Mount Hermon, where the fallen angels fell. Okay, and that is also where the statue of Pan, which was also Lucifer, stands at the base of Mount Hermon, where Jesus announced himself or caused the disciples by asking them, "Who do you say that I am?" And the disciples claimed that he was the Messiah. And he purposely did that right there in front of the statue of Pan. Okay, and he was on the Nephilim, or AKA Satan's grounds. Ultimately, God owns everything, but Satan is allowed to have his places on this earth for a time, as we know. So, a little south of Damascus is Mount Hermon. Okay, now down here in this area, all right, this is the area in which these large circles are. I just found it interesting that it was in the same um, general vicinity as Mount Hermon. Again, they may be miles apart, but it's still in that same vicinity, and I thought that that might be noteworthy. Now you can see right here, and Rob Skiba did some very interesting research on Mount Hermon and the fallen angels. You can see here um, where it lines up. Okay, 33.33, 33.33, and we know that 33 happens to be a very important Freemason Illuminati number, 33-degree Mason, and Freemason, and they also use that number as well as many other numbers symbolically. So that's interesting there, and that's where Mount Hermon is in case you can't see it. Now on this map, you can see where Damascus clearly is, and then you've got Mount Hermon south of that, this whole area here. But if you go down just a little bit further, and it does not show it on this map, right below in this area is where those circles are located. Also interesting is another megalithic wonder called Baalbek, okay? And Baalbek is also in that same area. Down here is Mount Hermon, then you've got Baalbek up here. So in this area, okay, where everything began way back when, the Holy Land and the Middle East, we've got quite a few interesting things. So once again, that's just a side note for you. Let's go back to the article. All right, it says here that scattered across Jordan are 12 giant circular structures that can only be fully seen using aerial and satellite images. Now, I think that I stopped right here, so let me go back on the highlights in case I missed that. And if I already highlighted this for you and I have forgotten, I ask that you forgive me for that, but I don't think that I did. There is a second group made of 4 big circles just north of Azraq Oasis in the Middle Eastern country. In addition, a more recent big circle was spotted on satellite imagery in 2002 near Homs in Syria. Now here we can see where Homs is in Syria, and that is north of Damascus. Remember that Mount Hermon is south of it, okay, but they spotted more in Homs, Syria, right here. The first group of circles were first spotted from the air in the 1920s, and more recent surveys have revealed more details about their size, shape, and locations. They range from between 720 feet and 1,490 feet in diameter and are made of stones or boulders. Some are crude circles, but others were intended to geometrically be precise, and researcher Professor David Kennedy stated that their purpose is unknown, and archaeologists will need to excavate the sites to accurately date them. And then finally, however, materials suggest they range from the early Bronze Age to the Roman period up to the 7th century. Scattered across Jordan are 12 giant circular structures that can only be fully seen using aerial and satellite images. Known collectively as the Big Circles, the vast rings, which range from between 720 feet and 1,490 feet in diameter, were first spotted from the air in the 1920s, and surveys in 1930, 1953, and 2002 have since revealed more details about their size, shape, and locations. But now, archaeologists from Western Australia have actually documented the 12 Jordanian and more recent Syrian circles in a bid to bring them to more people's attention and to learn more about their purpose. So they really don't know what purpose they serve. Now, this one here is Circle J1, and it's known locally as Kaiser Abu El Inayah. It is located 2.4 miles west of the Hejaz Railway and Desert Highway. So you can clearly see this circle here. Very interesting. You know, people would definitely want to know, what purpose do these circles pose when they were created? Why were they created? You know, did it have to do with some ancient ritual or worship? Nephilim giants, you know, what were they for? Then it says in total 8 big circles have been recorded in west central Jordan between the Wadi El Hassa and the edge of Shara Escarpment. There is a second group made of 4 big circles just north of Azraq Oasis. In addition, a more recent big circle was spotted on satellite imagery in 2002 near Homs in Syria, which I just mentioned to you. So here's some more pictures. Let me see if this is the same one. It just has to, we'll read what it says. But here's another one. You can see how huge it is. It says the landscape of the Middle East is thickly strewn with circular or subcircular stone-built structures, explained lead researcher Professor David Kennedy from the University of Western Australia. Circle J2 is pictured. Known as Sirat El Hayyan, this circle is located 3 miles west of the Hejaz Railway. It features a wall built from local fieldstone. So it is a wall built from local fieldstone, or it features this, it says. Okay, now let's go down here. You can see another one here. Let's see if it's the same one or a different one. Okay, that's J3. This one's J2. So this is a different one. Okay, it says known as KH Shada. This particular circle is called J3 and is situated 82 feet east of the Roman Via Nova Traiana. The circle is in an area of rich soils, and it was first visited in 1997. Construction of the circles is simple and typically consists of low walls of uncut boulders. Although, given the precision of some of the circles, this would have involved around a dozen workers, said the experts. He continued the construction is simple and typically consists of low walls of uncut boulders. So they're saying the construction of this was simple. Now, they've got a listing down here, okay, with a map. It says the mysterious big circles of Jordan and Syria, and it lists the various ones. As I just mentioned, they give you a map over here. You can look and see where they are all at, and they do highlight the actual name of the circle. This one has a question mark next to it. I'm not sure why, but you can go check it out. Now here's another one. This is J4. Anyhow, you can go to the link and check out all the photos. They have a whole bunch of stuff to look at here. This is a close-up photograph of the stones used to build J2. Professor Kennedy said the circles would have originally contained no openings or kinks. Now, of course, because of time and erosion and the natural aging processes of structures and land and so forth, they have changed. It says a number now have routes passing through them or contain service gates. Archaeologists will need to excavate the sites to learn more about their construction and purpose. Okay, so you see the close-up there. So just go check it out. I will leave the link for you below my video so that you can go take a look. It is on online, the British news service. Now, here's another interesting archaeological piece. It says Mexico archaeologists reach end of Teotihuacan tunnel, finding an offering in 3 chambers beyond. Now, Mexico has been having a lot of finds in the past years to do with elongated skulls, even ones that were not a product of head binding. Um, there was actual physical differences in the skull, okay, that were not from the binding. So here's another new one. So let's check that out just briefly. Okay, it says Mexico City, a years-long exploration of a tunnel sealed almost 2,000 years ago at the ancient city of Teotihuacan yielded thousands of relics and the discovery of 3 chambers that could hold more important finds, Mexican archaeologists said Wednesday. Project leader Sergio Gomez said researchers recently reached the end of the 340-foot tunnel after meticulously working their way down its length, collecting relics from seeds to pottery to animal bones. Now, this is a photo that was released August 6th by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History. It shows a sculpture unearthed at the Teotihuacan archaeological site in Mexico. Mexican archaeologists have concluded a years-long exploration of a tunnel sealed nearly 2,000 years ago at the ancient city of Teotihuacan and found thousands of relics. Teotihuacan dominated central Mexico centuries before the rise of the Aztecs in the 14th century. Now, again, very interesting because there have been a lot of ancient Nephilim discoveries. So this is just another one that could be something. And I will also leave the link. This is on Fox News. You can go check that out.